Hey guys, how's it going? So in today's video, we are going to do our first fertilizing of our seedlings that we started a couple weeks ago. They've got their, most of them, I think all of them have their first set of true leaves. Some are working on their second set. So I need to go ahead and get these fertilized because you can see that some of them are kind of, I don't know if you can see, but I can see that some of them are getting a little bit pale looking. So that's a sign that we need to get these seedlings fertilized. And so what I do is a half strength fish emulsion fertilizer. This is the one I use. This is not sponsored. There's a lot of different brands, but I like the Neptune Harvest. So I'm going to do a half strength. And then what I do is this year I'm trying this out for the first time. Usually what I would do is just like gently pour it on, but this time I'm going to make like a little soak and I'm going to set my trays in and fingers crossed this works good. I've seen other people do it, so we're going to try it out too. So I have a shallow tote that I'm going to put a little bit of fertilizer water, and this says 1 tablespoon per gallon of water. So I'm going to fill this up and see how many gallons I need, and then I will do half of that. So I will be doing a half tablespoon per gallon of water for our seedlings trays. And so I'm going to bring them all out to my garage. We're going to give them a quick soak. I'm going to let them sit outside in the shade just for a little bit because fish fertilizer is kind of stinky, and then we'll bring them all in. But this will be our first fertilization of our seedlings. I'm going to try to do like Fertilizer Fridays. So that's what we're going to be doing. Although today is Saturday because I worked yesterday and I didn't have enough time to do it last night. And so we're going to do Fertilizer Friday on a Saturday, but from here on out, we're going to be doing it on Fridays, probably every Friday, or at least every other Friday, depending on how the seedlings are looking. So anyways, without further ado, let's get to fertilizing our little baby plants. Okay, so here's 1 gallon of water. And I'm just going to do enough that oops. I think 1 gallon is going to be fine to start with because I don't want it to come up the sides. Okay, so we're going to do 1 gallon of water because we're doing half strength. Now we'll eventually do full strength as these seedlings get bigger. And I'm doing this out in my garage because fish fertilizer, it's fadunky. Okay, so we're gonna put our first tray in. And we're gonna just let this soak. Hopefully it fits. I'm gonna squash it down in there. Just barely. Okay, so there's step 1. And then we're going to just do this with a whole lot more trays. So we'll come back. Okay, so while those are soaking in there, I thought I'd come show you the aftermath of the tree. So there's my neighbor's yard. You can still see part of it broken. Bunch of dead grass because it laid here for so long. So we're taking care of that. But last year, so I did my, I remembered to plant my garlic. So some of it's okay, I think. I need to get more dirt on it though. But look at what a bunch of it did that had no sunlight. Every one of them on the new bulbs that were forming sprouted. So such a bummer because these would have been really good cloves of bulbs of garlic. So you can see how so this was one bulb or, 1 clove when I planted it last year. And so now, because it was sitting under the tree, every single one of them sprouted. There's a whole bunch, like most of them are like that. So I'm just going to pull those up because they aren't going to make a head of garlic. So that's a super big bummer. So you can see how these were 1 when I planted it in the fall, and they had sectioned off and were going to be big bulbs, but we'll throw some more dirt down. I don't know how those are going to do. And then, so the strawberries, they were crushed. So I pulled some out. Most of them are dead. There's a few back here that are, we're going to dig those up. I did dig up, let me show you, some of them yesterday and repotted them. That's sap all over. So we have these. So I did repot those, or not repot them. I just dug them up, because they were all, so hopefully they'll be salvageable. But I also want to show you my raspberries that I planted last year, give you a little update. So I have all these marked off so that when the cable company comes to fix the lines and get the broken pole out, that they don't trample. But look at my raspberries. And you can see like there's a shoot down there and there's some there. Looking so good. Super excited for that. And here's a mom that made it through and is coming back. That was a winter sowing project. Not this last winter, but the winter before. I think it's yarrow. I don't know. I took it out of the jug and I threw it in here last year because I really was in the thick of planting stuff and didn't know where to put it. Oops. Anyways, there's some remnants of the tree, but let me show you these raspberries over here. These are the fall gold ones that I planted last year, but you have to see all these sprouts, or I mean shoots, look, all over. So here's the main plant, or the one I planted last year. But look, there, so amazing. Little one there, just all over, and I love it. Because for me, the more the merrier. I have kiddos that love raspberries and strawberries so much, and samesies. So that's pretty cool. And then, again, I have all this marked off so nobody tramples it. And here's a peony that is eyeing up that I planted last year. See, like there and there. I just got 2, and then all this stuff got trampled, and like I need to put some more dirt over this one. But look, we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna go get these stands that I got to go over them, and hopefully that will help them not be trampled. Here's a bleeding heart that I planted a couple years ago, right here. Yay! Irises. So that's all really exciting. The dead grass is not. But let me show you. But wait, there's more while we wait for our seedling trays to soak up our fertilizer. So this area right here is the future cut flower garden. So I've been gardening in these little beds just for funsies. But this year, like I've said before, I'm doing cut flowers again. I've been focused on learning how to breed them and all that, and just, growing for pleasure. But now I'm going to be growing to sell bouquets this summer, just to help fund my plans. So anyways, I'm going to be making rows probably all the way up to, see at my patio, it starts to curve about right here. So I can get, I think I counted out 5 or 6 12-foot rows with enough spacing that I can run my lawnmower in between, because I'm not going to kill out all the grass, because I like grass. And so yeah, and I think I'm going to put sweet peas over here, like right there. But then all of this will be cut flower. Because I have this huge tree, I'm limited with where I have a lot of sun. So when that tree is full, there's not a lot of sun over there. There is on the other side where the trampoline is, because that used to be over here. There's little bits, but here's my rose tree. I don't think it's coming back. It looked like it was going to, and then we got a really cold moment, and it's like, no. There's some poppies right there. Those are coming in. I've got a hardy geranium right here. You can see all of it. And some, I think salvia or something. Nepeta maybe, I don't know, something of the sort. So anyways, this will be the cut flower area. Look at all that right there's a bag of pine cones. That's how many pine cones. And so if you see these, I'm sure there's videos from last year where you can see the massive pine. It was huge. We had a massive windstorm. For those of you who have not seen the other video where I talked about it a little bit, we had in some places, I guess it was up to 120 mile an hour gusts, but I think around here in our area is like 80 to 90 mile an hour gusts. Yeah, and it took that tree out and it just laid over. It kind of broke the playhouse a little bit. Definitely killed or messed up all my stuff in there, and then killed some grass. But that's okay. We're fine. Anyways, Let's go back in and check these seedlings. This tray kind of doesn't want to go very flat in there. My water is going down. So what I'm going to do, because a few of these look a little dry on top and I'm super impatient, is I'm just going to scoop with my handy dandy scooper here. Some of this on ones that might look a little dry on top. I just want to make sure that everybody gets fertilized with our half strength fertilizer. And I'm sure there's lots of other ways to do this that maybe may be more efficient or whatever. And if you know of any, go ahead and leave a comment down in the comment section below. I'd love to know how you fertilize your seedlings, because I am still learning like most everybody in the world. We're all just learning everything, and there's always other ways to do stuff which may or may not be more helpful, but it's always good to know them, I feel like. So I use my part of my dining room as my seed starting area, and so it's going to be fishy in there tonight. My kids are going to be like, what is that smell? Don't you worry. It's just the fishy smells. When I would use this last year, especially like even outside, they'd be like, what is that? But it works really good. It's stinky, but effective. So how's everybody's weekend going? Mine is going wonderful. So I did a business challenge, or I'm doing a business challenge, and I made it to the semifinals round. And so Thursday night I had to do my pitch in front of the judges, which we had not met or anything yet. I was extremely nervous. I don't know how well I did. I don't know if I'll make it to the next round or not, but I'm proud of myself for participating. It was more of a personal challenge for me. I think I've talked about that a little bit, or maybe I have not. Anyway, super proud of myself for even showing up, you know, because it's just something I wouldn't normally do. Even YouTube videos, this is not something I'd normally do just a couple of years ago. So all of it is a learning experience, like personal challenge type stuff. So I'm super proud of myself for doing it. Okay, so these ones, let me get, okay. So I did take and kind of set these, because I don't want too much of this to pull underneath the trays and like be super stinky in the house. Okay, so we let that one soak. We might need to let it soak a little longer, but we're kind of getting down. So I think I'm going to add another gallon of water, and then I'll do another half tablespoon of fertilizer, because we're doing half strength, in case you forgot. I don't know why you would. If you've been watching the video since the beginning, you already know that, but maybe somebody just jumped in. They like fast forwarded and they don't know. Anyways, so we're going to shake our stinky stuff. And we're going to do, oop, that's a little bit more than, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, that stuff reeks. Okay, let me grab our next tray here. These are all little snapdragons. I could have gotten a bigger toe. I thought this would be perfect. I mean, it kind of is, but some of these trays, but I think as long as all my little bottoms are in the water, that'll be fine. All right, so we'll come back here in a little bit, but we're gonna let these go ahead and soak, and we'll be back. All right, so now, okay, so now let's get, we need to take these little guys, need to go back in their tray, because they're all soaked up and stinky. Scoot that there, please don't drop. And then we're gonna pop our, no, we're not, hold on. Getting ahead of myself. So we need to take this one out. Oop, we're gonna fold. Don't do that. Oh yes, thank you. Okay, now put this guy in. Let her get a good soak. Are we all in? All the feed season. Okay, so now we're gonna let that soak for 10 minutes or so. I'm going to take a couple of these trays inside, park them back under the light. So we'll be back. Just a few. So for this one, these are my vegetable starts that I have so far. So we have some tomatoes and some peppers and some tomatillos and peppers and stuff. Anyways, because I have these and like these little flimsy thingies, I'm not gonna be able to pull that whole thing out. So what I am gonna do while this one is soaking down there is I'm just gonna take little bits. I'm gonna be transplanting these, especially like these tomatoes. They need to get into bigger pots here soon. They're kind of a little leggy. And so I went and got a couple more trays, but I'm out of lights, like space with lights. So I ordered another 6-pack of lights, which I think I just need 4 of them, but I figured, you know, I'd just get the 6-pack. So as soon as those get here, which should be this coming up week, I'm gonna go ahead and like transplant the tomatillos and the tomato plants into bigger containers. And then they can go under the new lights. But for right now, like I cannot up pot anything else because I don't have enough adequate light space. So these, they'll be fine in these. It's just that it's time already. They're pretty fast growing to get them in. But because I have a short growing season and I want things earlier, because sometimes we get really early hard frost, like very beginning of September. It's not unheard of. And just in case, I do want some things earlier. So I start a lot of stuff earlier. And I just deal with them kind of being large and unruly. And I'm ready for them to get outside as soon as after our last frost date, which is usually around Mother's Day. Again, we can get hard frost into June. So I always play it by ear. But most things you can get out around right before or right after the last frost date. And if you need to cover, you can. And so I just kind of do that. But I do need to get these in bigger pots. So we'll be doing that as soon as my other lights get here. And I'll make a video doing that because that's just always fun to watch. You know, see what other people do. I love to watch other gardeners. Just, you learn so much by watching other people, and it's just a lot of fun. So I'm just going to scoop because I can't pull this out without all these little pots coming apart, and I don't want that. Just be a pain. I mean, not that it's a big deal, but it would be a pain in the butt to put them back in. And I like to do things the least amount of pain in the buttness. Okay. So I feel like I got a little sprinkling of fish fertilizer on all of these, but you want to see? See, I don't know if you can see. I don't know. But, so in here I've got Kellogg's breakfast tomatoes, which are heirloom tomato. This one is, German Johnson ones. And then we have jalapenos, shishitos, sugar rush peach, Cubanelles, tomatillos, Felicity sweet peppers, California Wonder, because I do like bell peppers, and they don't make a lot on one plant. And then we have San Marzano bromas, a bunch of them, because I want to do a bunch of sauce and, you know, canning with those. So anyways, so we got those. We got some stock. Because these take forever, I'm just going to pour. I am an impatient human being. I try not to be, but I need to go to Tractor Supply because I do need to get some garden dirt because I need to top up one of my raised beds. I'm going to use it to plant my ranunculus and my anemones. And it has settled a little bit since last year, so I want to top it up and get those going here. I am going to have to cover them because we do have a couple really cold nights coming up, but our weather has been so nice here. Definitely like one of those like fall springs or full springs or whatever they call it, where you just want to be already putting everything. But those I do need to get in the ground because once summer hits, it gets hot in a hurry. And I mean, we've already been having 80-degree days, which means the summer's probably going to be atrocious. But who knows? A couple years ago on 4th of July, I was wearing a sweatshirt during the day because I was cold. Because it was cold that day, which is really odd for July. So I think year to year, you just never do know, you know? You just don't know. The weather just be weathering. So the weather outside is weather. Singing Christmas tunes, but with a summer twist because we like the holidays. I'm gonna get all these guys to grow. There's like snapdragon seeds are so tiny, and other gardeners already know this, but if you haven't, that's why like if you see like a bunch, like I got so annoyed with seeding trees that I just started doing this. Again, impatient. It's funny because there's this creator on YouTube, and she's called like the Impatient Gardener, and I'm like, that, I feel that. Like, you gotta slow down, but I can't. There's so many great gardeners on YouTube. It is like my favorite place. I have found so many awesome people that just share a wealth of knowledge, and I love it. Love it. Every person who creates content and shares valuable information or just anything, be proud of yourself. I love it. I think, you know, you help more people than you realize. Or maybe you do realize. I don't know. But it's just, it's freaking awesome. Love creative people sharing their creative stuff. Okay, I'm going to put this bad boy over here. Oop, go in. Because we're going to take these lovely little snapdragons out. And we're going to put our stock and our white, so this is iron pastel stock and white Gumfrina in this tray down in here. I think I'm going to have to make some more fertilizer water. Okay guys, so I got everything fertilized. It's back in the house under the grow lights. I'm going to take this extra and I'm going to go put it on some plants outside. And yeah, so I hope everybody's having a good weekend. Bye-bye.